You know, Wes, brother, pal, buddy, I like this back-to-back music stuff, this singer-songwriter thing. What do you think?
I think it's good because, as you've mentioned, you can't carry a tune in the bucket. I can't carry a tune in the bucket, and so we need to have somebody that can. And not only did our previous guest, Caitlin Cusack, be able to do it, but our guest today, Jonas, is going to be able to do that as well.
Yes, and probably way better than you and I together times 10x, right? I'm
I
thinking.
think probably maybe even 100 because
Yeah, oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
don't want to hear me sing.
yeah. There's a lot of X's after that. But it is fun, and what I love about it. Because I mentioned to somebody the other day that I was going to have a couple of, and we've had Drew Hale on before, we've had Daniel Beatty on in the past. I like, and I had somebody say, "Why do you have musicians, songwriters, singer-songwriters? You're a sales guy by nature." And I said, "But we're about building wins, right?"
Right.
And we've had some great people like our just from so many genres that have nothing to do with sales of metal roofing and the stuff that I do every day. And I just love the idea of building wins. And Jonas is another one of those guys that, and we're going to hear his story in just a second if I quit talking about how he took his love for music and is out living his dream and still working a job to be able to support the music and get it started and that's building wins at its best, right?
Well, everybody builds wins and everybody sells. So, when they say that you're not, having somebody on from the industry, the truth of the matter is it may not be the building industry, like literally, but we all sell, we all build wins, at least I hope we do.
Yep.
And so, yeah, you're right. I mean, and Jonas is definitely one of those guys that he's paying his dues, and when he gets to the point where he doesn't have to anymore, he's going to be able to look back and we're going to be able to say we knew him win. So,
Exactly. We're
yeah,
doing way back. Yeah. Let's do it. Well, you know what? Let's go talk to Jonas. What do you think?
let's go talk to Jonas.
Let's do it.
All
All
right.
right. Go push some buttons or turn
I
some
know,
dials
I
or
know.
do something. Hey, Jonas, my friend, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It'd be tough to be any better. I got to spend part of my day with my buddy and brother and pal Wes, and a good part of my day with some people that make music. And I love you guys that make music because as we established pre-show, I don't. Uh, I mean, I get in trouble even turning on music, let alone trying to sing or play anything. So I have a real respect for people that can do what you do, and I got familiar with you on Facebook, watching a bunch of your music videos and your songs, and you're kind of the real deal, buddy.
Well, thank you.
So you can tell I enjoy watching you because I can tell you really love love what you do. So anyways, for anybody that don't know, Jonas Hershberger, and you're out of Ohio. So give us a little bit first of who in the world is Jonas Hershberger. Give us a little of your background, who you are, where you're from, and let's get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, so I grew up in upstate New York, and I grew up Amish. You probably heard of the Amish.
I've heard of them. I have about, well, let's put it this way, Jonas. I have in my phone right now about 630,000 Millers, 490 Yoders, 327,000 Hirschbergers. So yeah, I kind of know the Amish a bit.
Yeah, so I grew up in upstate New York, and I left the Amish like 5 years ago, something like that. I left the Amish down here, and then I got into music and something that I wanted to do for as long as I can remember. I wanted to do music. So, like a couple of years
So
I got into it.
so what was the deciding factor? I mean, did it just happen? So you always wanted to do it, but was there that one day where you're just strumming your guitar, you're just fiddling around, and all of a sudden you go, you know what, self, I need to play music. Was there this a deciding moment in your life where it just clicked one day, or it was more of a gradual thing?
Well, it was more of a gradual thing. I was thinking about it for a while, and as I was thinking about it, I got more serious, and nothing was happening, and I was seeing that I got to do something about it. So I went after somebody on Facebook that is already doing it because I didn't know how to get started. So I sent him a message, and then he got me started with a producer, and so that's how I got started in music. So
Awesome. So and you know, I love that. I love to hear these kind of stories because so many people, and there's probably tons of people out there that play a little guitar or play the piano or they do whatever they do. They love music, but they either out of fear or insecurities or whatever that reason is, they never take that step that you took, right? And I think that's from your standpoint for anybody else out there, and whether it's music, whether it's anything else in life, really, it's a matter of you saw what it was that you wanted to do and you grasp it because so many times you're your own worst critic, right? You're insecure, you're afraid to step out of your own comfort zone, and and I love the fact what you just said is you said I'm going to do this. If I'm going to do this, you went out and found professionals to help you, right? Somebody that had done it, somebody that knew, and that's pretty important, right?
yeah, it is. It is. That is important. I would have never if I wouldn't have if I didn't find a producer, I would have never got started. I don't think because not except for just me and my guitar. That's it.
So does your producer, I assume at points where and I'm just guessing, so tell me if I'm wrong, but there's probably some time, especially early on, you needed that person like a producer to push you a little bit, right? To believe in you, but also probably the believing in you is important, but probably equally important was to push you to go, no, go ahead. Here's what we need to do. Here's the steps you need to take. Because let's face it, if you're not sure and you're not there yet, it's probably hard to step out. And especially I would think in singing and writing songs and playing music, which none of the above do I do. We've already established off air that I've actually had them turn my water off when I'm singing in the shower. That's how bad I am. But it's got to be a little scary to step on stage, especially early, and play your music because it's like I would look at it as like a comedian, right? What if you step on stage and you're telling all these jokes that you think are super funny, except there's nobody laughing, right? And I got to believe there's a little bit of that same fear of what if I get up there and sing this really great country song, whether it's a cover or one that I wrote, and there's like everybody staring at me and nobody's applauding, right? That's got to be it's got to be scary at the start, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is, and it's even now when I'm getting used to it, it's still, especially when you're trying out new songs and new places, and then you really think you got a good song here and performed it good, and then they're all quiet, nobody good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
get
that's got to be one of those moments where you wish there was a suitcase on stage you could crawl into, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but I got to believe with like I said, I'm a fan of a lot of different genre of music. Um, I I I'm a rap guy, but I love country. I don't I like pop. I enjoy jazz and a lot of different types of music. But um, what would you're kind of you seem like a young version of a very traditional country singer. Is that by nature or by desire or just kind of just where you are right now?
Well, I don't know, probably what I desire because it's what I listened to when growing up. We always listened to this old country, and I always liked those songs,
Yeah,
and I still do. And now,
yeah.
now I'm playing my own. So
There you go. There you go. And that's pretty awesome. So I saw you were out playing someplace this last weekend. You got some cool videos. I love your last video. I don't know if it was Ramblin' Man or another one that you just released, but it was really quite
Yeah,
well done.
yep, it was Ram.
Is that your favorite song?
It is one of them, yeah. This one.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do, and this is what we're gonna do it this way, only for one reason, and one reason only is it's my show. I'm gonna pick the first one, and you get to pick the second one. Okay. Give us just a little bit of Ramblin' Man, because I really dig this song.
Okay, yep. Oop. Well, I woke up this morning with a heart full of pain. I knew I had to hit the road again. So I packed up my guitar and my old walking shoes, and I headed out to find something new. I'm a drifter, I'm the traveling kind. I've got dreams in this heart of mine. I'll go anywhere, I'll do anything. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Some nights the road is dark and long. I will always be around the man.
Mm. That's just good old country right there, buddy. I love that. So that's my personal favorite so far, but there's room for more. So you you got started with the really playing and doing videos and being on YouTube and doing all those kind of things. What, a couple years now? How long have you been into your journey of actually performing outside of maybe just sitting around on the back porch with old Yeller or whatever your dog's name is? I don't even know if you got a dog, but that sounded good for the story. Uh, and singing. When did you really make that step into I'm gonna try to I'm going to perform. I want to be on stage. I want to be at events. I want to do videos. When did that start? How long ago? How long ago?
So I think this is now the second. This is the second summer that I'm doing that, and it's almost 3 years, I believe, that I recorded my first song. But it then it was like probably a year, which that would make it 2 years now since I'm playing live, like going out and playing live, something like that.
So you enjoy the lives versus the recording videos? Or are they both equally fun? Or what do you what's the fun part for Jonas?
Um, they're almost equally the same. I think live music playing is still the best.
Yeah.
But
I would imagine because you get to mingle with the people, right? And you get to sing to somebody that people are actually enjoying your music versus to a videographer, right?
yeah, right. Yeah.
So, and you said you had a producer. Is that I know that the last video I saw, you did some behind the scenes stuff, which was pretty good. I like that behind the scenes work. Is that your producer too, or is she your videographer?
No, she's just a videographer. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's some pretty good stuff. I enjoyed that. So you play right now all around I guess you'd be kind of would you consider yourself Central Ohio? I'm trying to think exactly where I travel Ohio quite a bit. We might get a sarsaparilla someday when I get into Ohio again, if you don't mind. But I don't even know what sarsaparilla is, but we'll get one anyway. Um, but what town in Ohio are you in?
I'm in Wayne County. It would be
Okay.
Ohio. So
Yep, yep. So, how far do you travel to play right now? Do you try to stay a little more localized where you can go out on the weekends because you're working a full-time job as you get this thing going until you're playing in Nashville, and I'll come down and see you on Legends Corner someday. But until then,
yeah,
do you go ahead?
I just stay. I try to stay local around here. So I don't go more usually than an hour, something like that. I mean, I probably would with a little more time. I probably would.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. So, if you as you progress, do you see yourself writing most of your own music? I mean, is that the key, is that the goal? Is to produce videos and albums, shall we say? That's an old word, I suppose, but I guess it's still used. Uh, I mean, I go back in the days when there was 72s and 45s. Do you even know what that means? Come on,
I don't.
I knew. Oh, come on, man. You could have helped me a little bit. You're making me sound really old here. Okay, so that was the old vinyl. And you played. Okay, do you know what vinyl is, you young buck?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, phew. I was digging my, I was going to send Wes a message and say we got to stop this thing. I'm getting way too old here. So vinyl, that was back in my day, and Wes's day, and so there's different speeds that they played at. So you'd set them on, and there was 72, I think, was typically the big albums. 45s, and you always call them 45s. That was the little single play. So that was like one song. And it had the bigger little round circle, and you had this little plug you put in it. You put it on the record player, record changer, whatever. And you literally, if you wanted one of your songs on a 45, you put that 45 little record on the record player and played it. Now you could set it up to where there was a stack, right? And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they keep dropping down. But yeah, that was back in the day when one of the biggest games with a an album, which was a 72. It played at a speed of 72, and there'd be 5, 6, 7, 8 songs. I forget whatever. And there's this little spot between them, and you had to set the needle on it just perfect at the start. And if you missed it, it would give this scratchy noise, and it would hop off, and you had to set it back on. I mean, it was pretty low tech back in the day, but great album covers. But so, anyways, when I talk about albums, that's what I think of as is back in the day. But I think artists still refer to them as finish a new album, right? Is kind of a term I feel like you guys use. But uh, so you see yourself doing maybe 100% your own stuff because you do some covers now, right? But you also do some of your own music. Is that kind of a combination?
yeah, yeah. It is. Yeah. I write some, and then I like to do more and more. Just write and do my own.
So writing, that's an interesting thing to me because walk us through in the world of a songwriter a little bit. Uh, does it just click one day, something, this is what I want to write about? I mean, in country music, it's probably, you know, dogs, pickup trucks, shotguns, and cheating women, right? I mean, that's kind of, and beer. I mean, you got to have those 5 things to have a good country song, right? But, and I say that in jest because I love country, but uh, do you find yourself as a songwriter with this idea that comes to your mind that you want to write about? Or do you actually set and go, I'm going to write about this, and then you write the song from there? Or do you find some inspiration in life, something that happened, something you saw, something that was of interest to you that you maybe convert a life story into a song? Or is it a combination of both?
Um, yeah. So I'm not that good at it at songwriting, but I can tell you a little bit how I do it. So yeah, I just kind of try to write whatever I go through in life, I guess. And then sometimes I sit down with my guitar and I think about this, what I went through, and start strumming and start writing. Some of it just pops out, and then but I still get stuck a lot of times and keep going until next day, and then I think about another line and then I write it down, and that's kind of how I
So some of them may happen relatively quickly, and others may take weeks or months to get the final project. Then I would assume.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you ever had one where you just started and tried and kept throwing it away because it's like this one just is not working. I can't finish this thing. Or have you finished everything you started? And there's not a wrong answer. I'm just curious about the whole songwriting thing.
I've had both. I started and never finished, started over, never finished. And then I had some I started and maybe finished the next day or the next time I tried to write. Or yeah, some of it just comes easier. I'm not
Hmm.
sure how, but
Yeah. Well, I would think with one thing about the country genre, which I I think is interesting and what I love about it, is it's so much more storytelling, isn't it? As opposed to some music, it's really all about the story. I mean, the music is important, the but it's the lyrics, it's the story. Country artists to me are more of a storyteller than probably any other genre, right? Because
yeah,
some of the best music I've ever set at is guys that just set guitar on a stool and tell their story, right? And I like I said, I think that's uh, one of the really brilliant things about it is, and because you're writing about things that you've lived or are going through or have gone through or want to go through or whatever the case may be, it really becomes just telling your story and how do I put that to music, right?
yeah, yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool stuff. So I gotta ask, do you have a dog? Because that's country. I gotta ask the question. Do you have a dog?
I don't have a dog.
Oh,
So
yeah, okay, dude. You gotta get a dog. You gotta have a dog.
no,
Okay,
I'm thinking about it, but I just haven't got it done.
just have music. You gotta have a dog. You got to pick up. I know that because I've
Yeah.
seen your pickup. So you need a dog. You got a guitar. Do you have a shotgun in the back of your pickup?
Not in the pickup, but I do have a
But you
shotgun.
have okay. Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm not going to ask you about if you got a if you got a cheating heart woman anywhere because that's too little personal. We won't go there. Even though that does make for good songs, right? Oh, and you can think about mother too. Mother's always good, you know. But so what's next for what's next for Jonas? What's the next step? I know you're always working on some songs. You just released something new just the other day I saw on YouTube, which I really enjoyed. Maybe if that's your newest one, as we get done here in a few minutes, because you've been very kind with your time, but maybe we'll let you finish up with whatever choice you want, whether it's your newest release or whatever. But what's just more writing and playing more venues and just kind of keep getting that music out there and keep growing the name.
Yeah, more writing. I'm actually working on one now. Well, I actually it's done. It's written, but I just have to record it yet. Yeah, and then I'd like to go out more and play live more.
Hmm.
So,
That's awesome. So in back, because I want to get my head wrapped around this. Not that I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's just interesting. So you start with lyrics, and then you start strumming the guitar, and you kind of come up with some lyrics that fit the the message. Is that the general way you write, anyways?
yeah, when I start, usually I think of something and I write it down, and then I start strumming and just kind of humming along, singing, and and then some words come out that I didn't think would come out. Like,
Well, exactly,
uh,
exactly. All right. So, what's your favorite song that
uh,
you've done?
original.
Yeah. Well, either way, but original. What? Let me ask you this, because again, you've been kind to your time, and I know you've had a long day of work, and you're probably going to go write some music tonight. And as we're talking, I'm getting prepared for Hurricane Milton, so I probably got a few more things to button down the hatches here. Um, what 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 song is your favorite song to sing right now? Well, if you're going to show up somewhere live tomorrow and somebody said play your favorite song, Jonas, what would that be? Let's play that one. Let's play a little bit of that one. Whatever it is, your call.
Um, yeah, so that one would be, let's see. That's an old one. That's a cover. Tracy Lawrence, Paint Me a Birmingham.
Love that song. Love Tracy Lawrence. I love it. Let's do it.
Let me see here. See if I can play it. I struggled with it for a while, but we'll give it a shot.
Well, it's way better than I do, so let's do it.
sitting there, brushing hands, painting waves as they dance upon the sand. It was every stroke you brought to life. Deep blue of the ocean against the morning sky. I asked him if he only painted ocean scenes. He said for $20, I'll paint you anything. Could you paint me a Birmingham? It looked just the way I planned. It's on the edge of town. Horse going all the way around. Over there in the front yard swing. Cotton dress, make it early spring. For a while she'll be my king. If you could paint me a Birmingham.
Love it. Well done. Yeah, it's a great song. Tracy Lawrence, man, I remember him from, I say way back, but he's always been one of my favorite country guys. So good stuff. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate you. I know you got home and jumped right on with us. I appreciate you doing it and coming on and sharing your story with us, my friend. You know, I think we'd mentioned pre-show that we don't do FAQs, we do SAQs, and should ask questions. Is I don't know if you had a chance to think about it, but when you're out and about singing, working, talking to folks, is there a question that you just wish either I today had or anybody, any of your fans, anybody that follows you, that you're just going, I just wish they'd ask me this, but nobody ever asked me this question. Is there something that we should know about you even that maybe nobody ever asked? Could be that you love spaghetti. I don't care. Is there what is there that because if you don't love spaghetti, we got to hang up now because
Yeah.
I don't know, that's un-American, but anyway.
So something people hardly ever ask me is why I do music. Like, what makes me want to do it?
Well, I got an idea, Jonas. Why do you do music? How's that?
Yeah. The answer to that is because I love it.
Well, that's a good reason. I hate to think you do if you hated it, so that makes sense.
So that's really the only reason that I do it, and it's the only thing that keeps me at it, that keeps me doing it. I just love doing it, and it's always been my dream as long as I can remember. So, yeah.
So as a young Amish boy growing up on the farm, you and your brothers would be out back singing songs, would you?
Yep, and we would be listening to the radio, and yeah.
I won't tell anybody.
We were not supposed to, but we did.
we won't tell anybody. That's awesome. Well, and you know, that's one of the things though that you know in the playing community, everything is a cappella anyways, right? I mean, at church services, whether it's Amish or Mennonite, it's pretty much always a cappella, right? There's seldom any instruments involved, right? It's just the voice. So, am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, from a training standpoint that you didn't realize you was training yourself for at the time, but if you can do a cappella, and there was a TV show on once that's all they did. It's years ago now, but everything is a cappella. And I really enjoyed that because you can't hide behind a guitar. You can't hide behind a band. You can't hide behind a full 7-piece band and fireworks and flames and all kinds of stuff. Because let's face it, you at a certain point, you don't even have to be that talented. It's all about all the other stuff, right? And that's one of the things I really enjoy about what you do is it's you and your guitar, and I mean that. I really appreciate that because it's either you and your guitar picking and your voice and you're still in the story, telling the story, or it's not going to be good, right? I mean, you can't rely on any of that other stuff. You can't disappear, right?
Right.
And they had to come from I can just see it now. Upstate New York. What part of New York, by the way? Because I travel New York a lot. What area of New York State?
Um, One of the nearest towns would be Canton.
Oh yeah, okay, okay. Gives me an idea. Yep. Perfect. Beautiful area. Well, good. Well, Jonas, I appreciate you being on more than you know. It's been a good time chatting with you. And we're all about building wins, and that's what I love about what you're doing is you're building your own win. You set out, you said you love music. That's really your passion. That's what you want to do. And you're just coming home every night, writing a song, working on a song, working on some music, and and going out and performing, doing videos, and doing all the right stuff. So that's a big win right there, and I love it. So we're gonna watch for a lot more out of you, okay?
Well, thank you.
And don't forget, if you first time you end up on that stage in Nashville or someplace like that, I need front row seats. Maybe second row if you got a lot of family. You're Amish, so there might be family. I understand. Second row minimum, okay? That a deal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, it's in writing here or in audio, so you can't back out. So I'll be there. So, all right, my brother, I appreciate you. It's been great and good to get to know you in person. We've chatted on the phone, but good to get to know you in person and hear your story. So thank you so much. I appreciate you being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Of course, keep playing that music. All right, love it. There you go, my friends. The second of some musical greatness today. I'll list. We went the gamut today from pop to to country, and repeating something I said earlier. But this is why we do and expanding into some other areas on Building Wins Live here is that I just love wins. Wes loves wins. We're win builders. We love wins, and and Jonas is a great example of that, right? He's taking a passion, taking something he loves, and doing whatever it takes to get to that next step, and playing music, playing gigs, writing songs, and living his dream. And I loved his last, close to the last statement. It says, what drives you? Why do you do it? And it's simple. He just loves music, and he's finding a way, whatever it is, to do what he loves. Which, hold on, that's exactly what we're doing right here, right? Loving what we do and doing what we love every single day. If you're not, find a way to do it. Live it, love it, own it, and while you're at it, go make today your best day ever. Till tomorrow. Cheers.